Okay, let's jump back into our bear series. And in today's video, we are going into the cautionary tale of Bonang and the messed up hospital database. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to tell you a story of the day I broke prod like hectically. Sometimes I do take it down, just but this was like a serious low, because I've been getting a lot of questions and like comments on how do you do it, is coding hard. Oh sorry, I was just checking the mic is in place, but it is. So I've been getting a lot of questions of, is coding hard, how do you do it, and people like they're not confident in going into software engineering as a career. Coding has its ups, it has its downs, and this was a big low for me. The simplest way I can put it is just break it until you make it. So okay, so what had happened was there was I'll just give you a high level of what the problem was and how I made it a bigger problem and how we solved it eventually, and I'm here to tell the tale, so it's not all doom and gloom in the zoo. So what had happened, a call came in from a hospital saying that their stock prices were not like their stock prices was not right, doesn't showing the correct figures, right? So because it was using this calculation thing at the back, so it just takes the average cost and like just divide, multiply, whatever to get to that figure, so that one of the items the figure was wrong. Cool. So do we want to just go quickly and correct the stock price in the database? No, we want to investigate and make sure where the problem is coming from and fix it from the system. Like, don't go and fiddle with the database manually. So cool, here I am investigating, going down rabbit holes and up again and going on my own little tangents. So in the system, eventually I find a function called a fixed quantities and cost, something like that, fixed stock quantities and costs. And it is in prod, is a button, and how the system was, it was coming from the States, so it was like standard code that I saw, and I was like, oh, here's a nice nifty function to fix my problem. So with that function, I ran it like a proper person. For you guys that do not know, like are not familiar with the dev work, because some of you guys are in uni, in like a working environment, it's not like your own project. You've got environments where you can play around with code and test if things work. Like you've got your dev, test, UAT environments to check if things are working properly. And in those environments, like things don't break. They do break because you are just testing out code, but you don't have like data issues and all of that, so you don't have like proper data to work on. So I ran this piece of thing in dev like a normal person, and obviously there was no impact. In test there was no impact. So, and also the system, the stock, the pharmacy thing was integrated with SAP. So in our testing environments and our dev environments, there's no SAP integration. Okay, so the only way to do it is at the top. So I ran it against test data, which it looked like it's doing the things. And then I said, okay, nothing broke. Let me just run this code, because it's standard code, in production, so that I can fix this problem and then the hospital can be happy. So I run this program and call it a day. Plus I found it at night, so I was like, let me call it a day. And in the morning, when I broke, when I'm the hospital says all of its quantities are in negative. So your Panados where it's in minus 500, your injections, your anything. So how that system worked, it was a big thing, because that system was not issuing out meds, because there was some validation saying you cannot issue meds because there's no quantities. There's no quantities of like Panado. There's no Panado. Why are you issuing Mrs. Pharmacy? And then so it was a huge deal, and then they was like, oh, what did you do? And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, oh, and they were very strict about you have to be peer reviewed and all of that. But for me, in my head, I didn't need to be peer reviewed because it was standard functionality. So I thought this thing would work properly. Then it went and took all the stock, most of the stock quantities down and all of that. So it wasn't reflecting what is in the hospital at that time. So it was like a huge, and the thing is, when you break production, is that you have to go and tell the whole world, and there will be meetings on meetings on meetings on meetings. And which I think, if you're in a situation where you are called by your colleague or somebody that they brought production, just ask what happened and just try to get to a solution. Don't go in there, because there was this guy that was like, oh, I can help. Oh, what did you do? And like, whoa, I can. Oh, okay, good. Like, and I think he just wanted the tea. Honestly, it was not for him helping us out. So you go, and when you break production, the best thing you can do for yourself is to be accountable and tell the story of why you did what you did, and be honest as possible that this was my thinking behind it, and this is what I did, and this was the result, and now these ones is like this. So I called my manager, I told her what's up, and then it was serious, because executives got involved in this situation. The hospital, the pharmacist was like, oh no, we're not able to take out stock. So then at least the exec was helpful in that sense, where she was like, just take out the code, the piece of code that validates if there's stock on hand, so that they can issue, because they're already in negative, so it will just keep on going to negative, so until we restore it. And yeah, so that was the solution to that. We took out that validation so that the hospital can continue working. But that was like after like 4 hours of just back-to-back meetings and all of that. And then they started handing out medication on that side while we tried to fix the stock thing. And likely because of the SAP integration, it was not all lost. We just had to consolidate the data with SAP and go manually fix the database with the correct figures. So yeah, this was like a proper P12 incident that lasted like for a month. So it was fun times. So my take on, if you are in a situation where you broke production, it's not nice, but you have to just own up and be accountable and be honest about it. And then if you're in a situation where your colleague broke production, don't make them feel bad already, because it's like your throat closes up, your stomach, you get sick into your stomach. So if your colleague broke production, please be supportive and try to help where you can, and stop asking a lot of unnecessary questions. And yeah, so I guess it's one of those things that happens, like, and companies should have like contingency plans around this. Yes, I'm not saying go break production, but companies usually do have like plans around this thing. Oh, another disclaimer that I want to say is, as much as you can try to be like careful, but don't let that like fear of breaking things hold you back from doing things, if that makes sense. That's my story on the production problem, that the biggest production fail L, the biggest L I've ever caught in the workplace. And yeah, I moved on. You get better. You don't get better. Mistakes happen, and you don't get to be like, I don't know, code is hard. Like right now I've been struggling with some brand new thing. The front end is just going haywire. Any little change I make, any small change I make, now pregnant. So it's a lot of that. So it does get better. There's good days, there's bad days. So don't fear nothing, my dear Dave. And I wish you all the best in your careers. Let's cut it here.